Good day everyone and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope in Nigeria, and of course a new Nigeria is certainly possible. Now good morning, afternoon and evening depending your time zone. A lot is happening in Nigeria, a lot, quite a lot, but we'll bring these things as we go along. We have this very trend that is going on again in Nigeria as many people are coming out to protest the economic hardship. Was happening in Lagos a while ago, and so many people came out and were, kind of shouting that Tinubu must go. A whole lot of things going on, that Nigeria has been hijacked and all that. So the hardship is really biting deep into the Nigerian economy. People can't even get what is being sold in the local market. People can't even get a little bottle of soft drink in Nigeria. So it's going so much. But in another dimension, we also see what happened today in Abuja, as NLC by themselves, by their leadership, led a whole serious army of multitude of people to the NLC's headquarters about the tariff. They are concerned about the NEPA bill payments, PACN, and the electricity subsidy that is no longer available in Nigeria. And we can see them chanting, dancing, their solidarity and all of that. But one thing they failed to mention in the midst of this very starvation and hunger crisis in Nigeria is the fact that Nigerians are seriously suffering. Well, away from all of this happening in Abuja, we also know that the presidency, which in the form of Chief Bola Tinubu, has sent his own message across to Wike. Well, if that is a message that should be hearkened to, asserting that he will not be again joining issues with the with them at the rivers crisis, well, that we are going to bring as the major issues. Reconciliation has been ongoing, and whether the Chief Bola Tinubu tend to remove his authority, that remains to be seen. I'm not the only one to have this discussion in the studio. I have Divine and Peace.
Warm welcome and thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast. We're so glad to have you.
Obidient worldwide, good evening. Now welcome again. We don't hear story way day on board. Make una sit down, make we hear as we talk again this evening.
Well, yes, we are on, and I know that there's a lot going on that we've discussed earlier in the day concerning what is happening in Rivers State. And it seems that there has been a whole lot of talk going on both in Rivers State and in the presidency, and we wish to bring it to your attention, especially as Tinubu has declared that he will neither take sides in the ongoing crisis in Rivers State nor allow any attempt by anyone to frustrate the state government. I wonder if Tinubu is now siding Fubara. Which is your take? But we also know that a concerned group, that is the Rivers Coalition for Good Governance, has urged Chief Bola Tinubu to intervene in the political crisis rocking the state. However, speaking on a television program monitored in Abuja, special advisor, which we know Ajuri Galere, said there was so much going on in Rivers State and that Chief Bola Tinubu is neutral in all. Well, Ngarere also said that Tinubu had told the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Yeson Wike, and others that he would not take sides in the ongoing crisis rocking River. This same presidential advisor said all those assuming that Tinubu will take side with them in the Rivers State political crisis will be disappointed. Let me quote him. I believe that anyone who believes that by their actions, whether it is from the federal level, state level, or the legislative branch in the state, or the executive branch in the state, if they are banking on Chief Bola Tinubu to take sides on this matter, they are mistaken. They will be disappointed. Well, let's just hold it there. Divine, let me start with you. We know from onset that Chief Bola Tinubu had earlier intervened in this very instance, and that very intervention was wholly one-sided on Wike. He said, reinstate all the commissioners back to their pay all the arrears of the state legislature, give them back what is due to them and all of that. Nothing coming back to him. Withdraw the matter you have in court. All of these things Fubara did. Still, they did not leave him. How do we now believe that Chief Bola Tinubu is now not taking sides again, but going to be neutral as this? But before you go on this, your analysis, let's take a lesson from that special advisor, Julia Gallery, or whatever his name is, to see the kind of lies that they spin to Nigerians. Let's take a lesson.
I believe that anyone who believes that by their actions, whether it's from the federal level or from the state level or from the legislative, branch in the state or to the executive branch in the state, that if they are banking on Mr. President taking sides in this matter, they are mistaken and they will be disappointed. The president will not do that. What he will do is ensure that everybody has what they need in order to work. And he's also going to ensure that any attempt to defund or frustrate the operation of the River State government from conducting its affairs in a way that will benefit the River people, that's obviously not going to be allowed by this president or anybody else. So I think there's a need for all stakeholders to understand that the president will not take sides and that they need to focus in on governance and delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of River State. And that should be their only consideration until the lead up to 2027, when we can start talking about politics.
As you guys know, we have always heard from this presidential aid lies so much in different instances and all of that. But what is most important for us today is the fact that everything that has been happening in River State, we know is a move by Wike, to subdue the state. But it seems like at this very point they are trying to say that, Chief Bola Tinubu is neutral, and that is the message that has been sent to everybody, that is neutral. How is that possible?
Well, I think last minute they've realized that the whole drama and what the politics they tried to play in favor of Wike is not working, because, Governor Fubara is fighting back them and their antics, and so now they want to make it look like they have nothing to do with the scenario, or they are detaching themselves from what is happening in River State. But from the agreement he had them sign, we can see that he was more favorably disposed to Wike. It was the last peace pact that had them River State in the current situation that it is currently. So I just know that this is another, propaganda and another lie coming from, the presidency.
But I can see that even Fubara has reacted to this. Reacting in the sense that he said he's tired of the intimidation. As a matter of fact, he said that intimidation has an expiration time. And that intimidation that is coming from the presidency is coming from Yeson Wike, that it has expired. Let's even take a listen to what he has to say about this very expired intimidation from Abuja. Let's take a listen.
Intimidation has the time. When the time expires, it's over. It's over. Even in the Bible, Pharaoh intimidated the children of Israel, isn't it? Or the Hebrews. It got to a time, the intimidation worked again. It didn't work. So everything that has any back thing that has a beginning, it has an end. So don't worry. That's why I said don't worry about it. We don't have any problem. We have kept that behind. We're looking ahead.
If we believe that intimidation from Abuja has expired, that is left for him. But we know that today he has taken a decisive step in his administration, trying to get back his cabinet in order and give the governance that is pure required from Rivers people. Peace, I see your mouth, they do in all this grammar where they speak since. Fubara talk say in don't tire with intimidation. Waiting be your own take.
Yes, he don't tire, and he talk say intimidation get expiring date. Yes, there's time for everything, and the season for everything where they happen for this life. So the time for intimidation don't end true, and the man has every right, and to take back what belongs to him. all this noise where Wike they do, just they waka about like person where they pursue. So make him rest.
And when they do these things, now people will be saying they for grant for that river state. They talk them every day. Say now people wait there for river and then they suffer because many things we're supposed to do. They do for them.
Yes, and I think this whole drama should just end for once. They should just end all these things. Let there be sanity, let there be serenity in that state. Everything is just revolving about rivers, Wike. So Wike and in cohorts, where they kukuma rest. So intimidation is over, just as in talk.
Okay, and now still going back to why we finished earlier broadcast today, we noticed that a lot of people came to our timeline asking a whole lot of questions, and of course we have Udemezo who said we should also project some of the things that really matters there, like the question on constitution that we talked about earlier. The constitution requires, I just need us to understand this clearly. The Constitution requires the Speaker to make a formal declaration signaling the end of the defecting lawmakers' membership of the legislative. However, since the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of Rivers State in this instance were among those defecting, it is not reasonably expected that the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker would be willing or will be legally capable of implementing the provisions of Section 109 subsection 2 that we discussed this morning to declare vacant his own seat and those of his fellow travelers in that escapade. In such a situation, it appears the remaining members of the House, those not affected by defection, could take necessary steps. The only option practically and legally available to them that we know is to give effect to the provisions of Section 109(1)(g) of the Constitution. Moreover, considering that the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker were among the defecting lawmakers, fifth, with due respect for some of the people who ask questions on Section 109 subsection 2, now, it says the Speaker shall take steps to give effect to Section 109, subsection 1G. The Constitution envisages that the Speaker is not the one defecting or is not among those defecting. And the Speaker in the present instance happened to be among the defaulting or the defecting lawmakers. The ball was then in the court of these non-defaulting, non-defecting lawmakers to take necessary steps in line with Section 109 sub 2 of the Constitution. Now, Divine, you know my issue with the people who ask so much questions that align with the Constitution. Right. The Constitution saw it that if there's people who is defecting, the person who is to pronounce their seats vacant is the Speaker. Right. But in this instance, it's peculiar because the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, they are all defecting. So if they are all defecting, I mean, the Constitution cannot be left like that. There must be somebody who is left in the House to take action. Right. And of course, the only remaining people are 3 or 4 persons who were remaining there. And of course, they elected somebody who will have to be the Speaker. And the Constitution was explicit on who is going to make that pronouncement, which is a Speaker. And unfortunately, or fortunately enough, Edison here did. Right. So I don't see the confusion that is really coming into all the question that keeps coming in. People should go and read the Constitution. It's open. It's there in the book. 6. Let's recall the necessary legal implications of the principle that nature abhors vacuum. In leadership, being a continuous activity, as a result of which no one person or group of persons have or has the right to or power by their actions or omissions to hold the House of Assembly, Rivers State, to ransom. There must never be any vacuum in a position of Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. It therefore follows that since upon their own voluntary, unconstitutional defection, the Speaker and the Deputy Speakers were deemed to have lost their respective seats. This it should be true, and it should, of course, end there. But the question now I want you to look at. Today, in particular, a lot of things happen in Rivers State, which every media is shining their light. Aside from Tinubu saying he's taking a neutral stance, which we knew or know will never happen, then we look at Wike confirming, going ahead, using the 3-man people to confirm that very person. And the procession that really took place is really something we should all look at. Let's take a listen to that very thing that happened today in the Lagos State, in the Rivers State Government House, where they use as the Assembly Auditorium to make those pronouncements today. Let's take a listen to that. We'll be back. We'll not go take.
It's the 183rd legislative sitting of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and the first since Victor Okojumbo emerged as a new speaker. Monday's sitting is also taking place at a new venue. This comes after Governor Fubara issued an executive order relocating the sitting of the House of Assembly to the auditorium at the administrative block of the Government House. The decision, according to the governor, was taken because the current House of Assembly complex in its present state is not safe and constitutes a threat to the lives of the staff and the lawmakers. Monday's plenary has only one agenda: screen and confirm a commissioner nominee. Appearing before the lawmakers is Danagogo Iboroma, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Born 60 years ago, Iboroma was called to the bar in 1990 and was conferred with the rank of senior advocate in 2022. He may have been nominated to replace Professor Zacchaeus Adango, who recently resigned as a state attorney general and commissioner for justice after he rejected his redeployment to the Ministry of Special Duties, Governor's Office. Expectedly, the majority of the questions thrown at the commissioner nominee border on the issue of loyalty and commitment to service.
We know some persons leave, came back, and they still leave again. We want to know what will be your commitment to the people of Rivers State and the government.
I am not a godson to any godfather. I have been a private man and I've always been in private practice. If my appointment is confirmed, I will spend my time at the behest and the pleasure of His Excellency. I owe no man no obligation to defect to any other party or any other person. So those who have defected, they have the reason for defecting and coming back again. But for me, it's not a mark of integrity.
With the question and answer session over, Danagogo Iboroma was then granted permission to take his leave to allow the lawmakers to deliberate further on his nomination. Their deliberations, however, didn't take much time, as the House unanimously agreed to confirm his nomination as a member of the Rivers State Executive Council.
All those in favor that Iboroma Dagogo SAN should be confirmed as a commissioner in the Rivers State Executive Council, say aye. Those against, say nay. Any abstention? The ayes have it.
With the matter of the day concluded, the House immediately adopted a motion moved by the leader of the House to adjourn sitting until Thursday, 16th of May, 2024.
Mr. Speaker shall arise.
Idagbo Biakene, AIT News Port Harcourt.
So much going on in Rivers State, but let me just make this as a final note on this point. It has really become necessary at this juncture to consider the necessary legal and practical implications of following provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, especially the section 921 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which was very specific that there shall be a speaker and a deputy speaker of a House of Assembly who shall be elected by the members of the House from amongst themselves. The implication of this appears to be that there shall never be a time a state house of assembly does not have a speaker or a deputy speaker. The office of the speaker or the deputy speaker has perpetual succession. Existence of a speaker and a deputy speaker, it does mandatory, and as such does not depend on the will or whims and caprices of any member or groups of members of the House of the Assembly. Let me stop that the issue of these legal things, because I believe that all the silk and the sons that are involved in this matter should know all what we are talking about here. There should never be a vacuum. People keep talking about 3 men, 4 men, but I mean, wouldn't the House function Should they be functioning under a unconstitutional body that has, you know, that is imposing themselves as are parading themselves as members of Rivers State House of Assembly?
Right, I just think the point is that their defection was unconstitutional, and so we should not halt the leadership process or the legislative procedures of the House because some group of people decided to unconstitutionally defect to another party. So the point is really simple, like earlier when you mentioned that nature abhors vacuum, especially even in leadership. The people of Rivers State deserve to reap you know, the full dividends of democracy, regardless of the fact that there's any drama going on between whatever political factions. So truly and truly, the Constitution stipulates that there should always be a speaker and a deputy speaker, and I think that is really what they've done, you know, regardless of the people that defected, and I think it's very constitutional.
Okay, so we'll get back to it by tomorrow to discuss more detail on the constitutional provisions that we are laying out here today. But let's again just have a little bit of what happened in Lagos about the people who are protesting about the hardship in the country. As you know, people can barely buy things in the market now. Transportation has skyrocketed. Well, let me start with you, Peace. People where this thing they touch now, people will be say then they for grassroots, you understand me? Now people will be say every day then they walk out from one place, then they go buy fuel for their generator, then they do trading. Now the people wear this thing, and for Lagos we see waiting they happen as you they see on for screen. All those people will be say then they protest, and as then they protest, then they carry. And it just they too much around because not be only Lagos, so this thing they cut across different places. Then do them before they stop, but now they bring them back because hunger no be person mate. Yeah,
exactly. Like the hunger is just too much these days you get. So I don't blame them anyways. But the fact still remains that, you know, say people go they protest, still they protest, they go. Before you know, the protest that they do no go yield any results. The thing will just die down like that. I keep saying this thing that we can't keep doing the same thing and expect results. We Nigerians need to have a change of thoughts, a change of attitude and everything. So the protest was actually as a result of what they are going through. I don't blame them. It was a pathetic video. You know, seeing that alone, I felt like crying. It was a tear-jerking video anyways. So the masses are hungry, they are lamenting. People they go through a lot. You know, go blame them. So Tinubu regime carry lots of bad things, negative things, killings here and there. You know, no hope. But we believe, say, with God with us and Obi, we get hope. So make we no lose hope. No matter what we they pass through, make we keep striving, make we keep pushing. I believe Nigeria go better again.
Yes, there is hope, and that is what we preach. And the program is Hope Alive. So coming back to you, Divine, this very issue has gone, you know, everywhere, like Peace clearly spelled out. The grassroots suffers so much from this. But there's something, the direction I want us to look at this. When this kind of protest arose in 2014, that is when they wanted fuel from 65 naira to yes. Those we'll find out that it was very, very pronounced and active. You understand? It yielded result because Goodluck Jonathan, being the president, then have to backstrap. You understand, and agree. But this time around, it seems like they are doing this as if they are even coming out. They are hungry before they even come out for the protest. So before they start, they shout, Tinubu, this. You see the thing going down like hunger day. You know, those kind of. So apparently, probably there is no body who is supporting them with even food or water to drink and all of that. So it won't gather that kind of momentum that is expected of it. So that because government will only react when they see that people are actually out to hold something. For example, you know what happened last week in Abuja about the journalist that was held by the police. Right. You see the kind of heat that the journalists came all out and hit FCT police command, and they eventually that same day released the young Martin Kojuku by name. Daniel.
Well, particularly, the Occupying Nigeria protest that happened during Goodluck Jonathan's administration was sponsored, right? No names, but like we know that it had political motivation, because if we compare the situation with
Tinubu, Chief Tinubu happens to be one of the sponsors, so it's not something that is hidden.
Well, like I said, I knew it was sponsored, but I didn't particularly know who was sponsoring it. But since you've mentioned it now, anyways, the point is that it was sponsored, and the current one right now is not sponsored because the people that are in power actually have a way of maiming the people. But my point is, even I'm looking at it from the angle of the people. These are the same people, some of them that are in that protest right now, that are actually protesting this government, are people that supported this government. These are the same people that when elections come around the corner, they will sell their votes for peanuts. They will mortgage their future and their, you know, entire life just because they are doing tribalism and they are playing religious, you know, sentiments and stuff. So I'm just saying, if we know that we, you know, we intend to actually get the benefits of democracy, maybe as a people we need to actually start voting for people that actually care about us, regardless of whether they are from our tribe or not. So this is particularly sad. But again, the youth of Nigeria needs to actually make sure that they are giving their votes to the people who actually have their interests at heart. Especially starting with the Edo coming Edo elections and looking at Anambra of next year. I mean, they should come out and make sure that it is their votes that count, especially at the level of their polling units. Right. So let's also look at what NLC did today in Abuja. What's your thoughts on it? Because I see a lot of picketing on NLC, but I don't trust that leadership of the NLC. They always see them dancing and as if where Nigerians are hungry. They'll go there singing is it Solidarity Forever and the rest of it. I mean, these people could actually inspire young men in Nigeria to actually act, you know? Right. But particularly, like you said, I'm not impressed. What they are talking about is actually very valid. But this is not the first time they've come out to say that they were protesting against something or protesting against one bad government policy. The point is they don't always add momentum to it. After, you know, a couple of days, they just wilt like, you know, a dying flower. And it's just really, really sad. So I'm not particularly impressed because first of all, why are they even coming out now? The NERC increased the electricity tariff rates since April 3rd. We are over a month past that increment of the electricity tariff and the removal of electricity subsidy. Why is it today, or like why are we hearing about it now? Why are they protesting now? It's like they just come out only when they don't have their palms greased, and so if their palms are greased, they just go back, you know. So I'm not particularly impressed. They're fighting for a good cause, but still there are people that I don't trust their integrity, so I'm not particularly. Yeah, this NLC, well, let's see how it goes. They're actually on the reason for their thing is about the subsidy on electricity and all of that. Well, let's see how that plays out of it. We have so many other things that should be on the board, but I can see the signal coming out from the production team that our time is really moving fast. But before that our time gets to where it needs to get, let me inform us that we at the Obidient Family Cooperative Society have continuously encouraged every Obidient, well-meaning Nigerians, wherever you are, join the Obidient Family Cooperative Society. We have the WhatsApp platform where you can go in, locate your local government, and join like minds in your local government to start up a cooperative. This cooperative society is designed to help obedience, reconnecting obedience, unifying obedience, and bringing about a structure that will help us recognize who we are, identify us in different local governments in Nigeria for growth. And from there, we can, you know, start trading with each other and all of that. It is in the making. We know that in Kanu State, about 10 or more local governments is being registered. We have Niger State, about 16 profile local government structures in place, and we have in Cross River State about 13 local government fully registered as Obidient Family Cooperative Society. So we want, wherever you are looking or hearing this for the first time, please click on the link. The registrations with the local government is ongoing, and that means registration with the state government. We want all obedience on a welfare. This is welfare arrangement for the obedience. Wherever you are, join. It does not matter the support group you belong to.
provided you are a well-meaning Nigerian Obidient who believe that a new Nigeria is possible. There is a link that you can click on that is at the description of this very video, of this broadcast, and also at the comment section. You can see this. Please click on it. Join the WhatsApp community platform where you get details of how these cooperatives function so that you could join the one that is actually by your backyard, which is your local government. And by so doing, you enjoy the benefits that is provided for all the Obidients that join those cooperatives. Thank you so much. Until tomorrow when we come your way again. Bye for now.
If we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax nets. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the nets get bigger and we take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the country instead of additional layer of taxes. For now, I stop there.
Because everything they planned they don't work. They invited me, your son, to impeach the governor. And I told them clearly, I no go follow. The whole money where they hide since they bring and give me, I say lie, lie. And because I refuse, I like Babikadio. I like Babikadio. Oh, Shibliku. Oh, Shibliku. Oh, Shibliku. And what did they do? They conspired amongst themselves to declare me, your sons, and other well-meaning rivers and Nigerians wanted.
We bought that property in February. In February. I have only been there for 2 months. For 2 months. For 2 months. All the hard work, all the sleepless nights, everything. If you are in Lagos, you know how much properties in ATMs are cost. You know how much properties in ATMs are cost. Each time my son see me crying, he will always ask me why I'm crying. Mommy, you've been crying. How do I explain to our son? How? What do I tell my children? I'm trying so hard to be a strong woman, but this is very painful. I don't even wish anybody a pain like this. I don't wish anybody to work so hard, so tireless, and face something like this. I don't.